Welcome. You're listening to the I'm Wired to Inspire podcast, creatively engineered by Nicole, the inspiration specialist. I'm Wired to Inspire is a powerfully packed podcast filled with inspiration and encouragement to get you through your day. It's designed to inspire you to live your authentic purpose. Now, stay tuned for your host, Nicole, the inspiration specialist, on today's episode of I'm Wired to Inspire.
Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today on my podcast. I'm Nicole, the inspiration specialist, and I'm wired to inspire you to live your authentic purpose. Y'all, something I want to touch on today, something happened the other day, it kind of bothered me. I'm not even going to front. It ticked me off, and I was like, okay, Lord, I got to pull myself together. We are in such an interesting time right now with people not knowing how to think for themselves. There's so many instances where somebody can tell you something about somebody. You literally do not seek God. You literally say their word is bond. You literally do no type of research. You do nothing to see if anything they say has credence. There's nothing, there's no pipeline. There's nothing that you go through to investigate with the Lord, not just what another human being is telling you. The reason why this is something I'm addressing is because, first of all, I want to say for myself, I have been extremely immature in my past in handling certain situations and relationships. Moreover, I was very naive and just lacking knowledge in a lot of how to relate with people in certain situations, especially with networking and things like that. So I will take an L for that. That's totally something that I've outgrown and still working on to this day. But y'all, I think one of the best things we can do as we grow, mature, and learn is to talk about our shortcomings and the things that we may have done wrong. Because at the end of the day, once you've gotten past those things, those are always things that can try to come back and creep up. But once you put those things in God's hands, you'll see a change. And that's what I did. So I'm just looking and seeing certain things. And honestly, some things that come back to me. Some people brought some things to me that, and it kind of, it gave me pause. Not a whole lot of concern of being worried, but really being perplexed as to what's your scope of thinking? Like, why is this something that you want to put out to other people and you're not giving another person a chance to find out for themselves? I know a lot of times things happen, y'all, and we get into situations and we may not like a person or we may fall out. Again, I am guilty. I have said and done things that I should not have said and done. I mean, it's just what it is. And although God knows my heart, I've tried to speak to those people and make those changes. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But I just want to say this to somebody who may need to hear it. You have to consider the source. And you also have to be careful that you do not cut off somebody that God is trying to send to bless you. I'm saying that to myself too. Okay? Sometimes the Lord will set up and orchestrate a situation to see if you're going to listen to him or if you're going to listen to somebody else. And you could literally go ham, cut up, act the immature fool. And people watching you, they seeing and saying what you're doing. Y'all, like I said, I could speak on this because I done did it. I don't need to compare to nobody. I don't need to act like I'm perfect. I have this podcast for these moments because we got to be honest with ourselves. I had to have my own devastating wake up call multiple times and I'm still having it. Because y'all, what you don't realize is when you do things from a place of defense, you're always trying to defend yourself and you're really not paying attention to what's coming at you because you always feel like a victim or somebody's doing something to you. You will never progress like that. You will never, ever see what you think you're supposed to see in your life. You're going to keep seeing turmoil. You're going to keep running on the hamster's wheel. You're never going to execute the proper strategy to grow and leap into the level that you're called to go to. Okay? So I, again, am learning because I did that too. Everything I'm saying that we have to guard against is all stuff that I have done. But it just saddens me now more than ever because it's not like how it used to be. Now people see social media, people see other people, talk to them, barely know them, and it just turns into so much cattiness, so much craziness, drama, people copying, lying, stealing, cheating. It just swells into this big old, huge, ridiculous thing. And I went to lunch with my brother recently, and he basically told me, he said, Ro, when somebody is really your friend and they have your back, no matter what you go through, you could not talk to them in forever. Y'all can have any kind of whatever that went on. If they knew you really needed them, they would be there for you. And that's something you should never forget. And I guess the thing that really saddens me in this day and age is that we are having more and more opportunities not to have those kind of bonds because there are too many people who are not listening to God about their relationships and they're listening to other human beings. And I'll tell you something else that I've learned to do too. There have been people that, may not have been my favorite people. And if I had it my way, I would say, don't check for them. Like they got this, they got that. But y'all, if I'm honest, there have been times where God said, no, you need to encourage them to meet them. Because Robin, your experience with them will not be that experience for them. They're not going to have the same type of exchange. And no, that might have been a character flaw that you saw in them, but that is not something that they're going to do with them. And I want to bring them together. And even though you don't like what happened between y'all, I'm telling you, that's going to help them. Y'all, that's deep. Because when God is telling you that you have to put yourself on the side after you've seen somebody do something that you may not have liked, but God is still leading you to, say, hey, the connection needs to be made. That is not only humbling, but it's also showing God that you're all about obedience. And it also opens up the door for him to bless you on levels you've never experienced. Because what he does is he says, you know what? I can trust you. Because even though you might not like the person or the situation, or even though you messed over them, Robin, and I still need you to connect them to somebody. Or Robin, yes, they messed over you. I still need you to connect them. That's a whole different level of going up higher in God that you have to be willing to embark on. And you got to take all of the ups and downs that go with it. Because here's the thing. If we really trying to please God, if we really trying to do the things that he wants us to do, y'all, it's going to be a lot of those situations, and again, I am speaking to you from experience. And for whatever reason, this week, I just felt like being really transparent on matters of the heart, matters of the family, matters of friendship and relationship. I don't know what's going on with me, but I do know with many people in the world, not just people in the body of Christ, believe it or not just Christians, y'all, but a lot of people are going through changes and they're seeing the systematic changes in the world. And it's causing people to stop and think about their own lives individually beyond spirituality. A lot of people are just saying, enough is enough. Or man, this just does not feel right. Y'all, they might not even be super spiritual. They just might feel like, man, something in my gut, my stomach turning, something ain't right. I don't know. I don't like that. That feeling is not good. So I just want you to not only be encouraged, but moving forward, just seek God on anything you're supposed to be doing, not just people you're supposed to be talking to. Don't seek the internet. Don't seek a friend. Seek the Lord and let him tell you it's a no. Let him tell you it's a yes. Because y'all, the enemy is having a field day. He's cracking up laughing, saying, all I had to do was go spit that bug in his ear and he just lost it. He just forfeited his blessing. All I had to go do was just throw her with these group of people to make her think this and that's a wrap. Y'all, we getting set up for the okie doke. And here is the thing, and I'm going to say this before I roll out. Go to the throne before you go to the phone. And even if people tell you things and it's well-meaning and it checks out and you say, no, I'm not going to talk to them, or no, I'm not going to go to that event, or no, I'm not going to start that business with them, or no, I'm not going to go to that job. Whatever the spectrum is multi-layered here, y'all. Whatever it is, you have to make sure God tells you what it is, because there's too many people having to come back, backtrack, because it was what God had for you. And because man was jealous or envious or angry or PO'd and didn't like it and they whatever, everything got ruined and thrown out of whack because God may have hid your blessing inside of a problem. God may have hid your miracle inside of an altercation. But you can't see that. Because just like my little silly self has done multiple times, I couldn't see it because I was too busy being in my flesh. I want to book somebody. I wanted this. I wanted that, blah, blah, blah. And then you just wake up one day and you're like, man, what have I done? Yo, sometimes we just got to be honest about our L's and the mistakes we make. That's how we're going to get the W's. We're not going to get them if we act like we perfect and it didn't exist and we don't want to share and talk about it. I'm not going to say my personal whatever and no detail or no names or nothing because that's not necessary. It's not necessary for you to do that either. You don't have to tell people your business. But if you have to come to a place where you just have to go before the Lord and confess your sins, which we should do daily just to cleanse us, go and do that. Nobody is going to do you the way God is going to do you. Okay? Nobody. And the only responsibility you have is to make sure you do what he's telling you to do, not only for him, but once he tells you what to do, he's going to tell you what to do for yourself so that you could be a well-rounded, functioning human being who is on this earth to serve and to do great works and to do even greater works. So I hope this encouraged you and inspired you today. And I hope that you take some time and just really start to reevaluate. I've been doing that a lot for the last couple of years. And like I said, this week, a lot has happened for me personally, so it's caused me to really think, and I really get to see also who really has my back and who doesn't. So give yourself that time with God. Make sure you're not just taking things and anything somebody's telling you, because let me tell you, when you're really hearing from God, you're not bitter. You're not out there throwing jabs. You're not trying to be messy. You're just not bitter. You just get it. You say, okay, God, that's not it. You don't have time for that. Your level of maturity is on such a level that you just don't have time to do that. So I want to encourage you and hope that you do hear God clearly and that whatever he tells you to do, you do it so that you can be at peace with him. You can have peace of mind with yourself and you can have peace of mind with your fellow man. Because at the end of the day, y'all, we don't want to do nothing that's going to keep us from God's best for us. And that includes who we connect with, where we go, what we do, and who we do it with. I'm wired to inspire. I hope you are too.
Thanks for listening to I'm Wired to Inspire podcast at I'mWiredToInspire.com. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word and be sure to hit the 5-star rating on iTunes. For more information on this podcast and inspirational products and services, log on to I'mWiredToInspire.com. And remember to live your authentic purpose. Thanks again and see you next time.